The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome everyone to McStabber Studios. We tonight are playing Mage the Ascension Neon Tempest, and we are doing so for National Breast Cancer Foundation's Game Pink initiative for fundraising over the course of October. We are raising funds for National Breast Cancer because they are trying to use the money raised this month to provide free mammograms to individuals in need that have not been able to get their mammograms during the pandemic. So far, we have raised enough to provide 5 people mammograms, and we actually are only $35 away from providing a 6th person a mammogram. So we really hope to raise some funds tonight, and we hope you enjoy the awesome, ridiculous game we're playing tonight to raise those funds. Go ahead and lead us into it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Neon Tempest. I am honored and privileged and excited to be here. My name in chat is the Ravenous Archon. You can call me Will, and I will be your storyteller this evening.
And I am Relyn Dare. In Twitch chat, you see me as Mama McStabber, and tonight I'll be playing Lydia Thompson, a mage of the Cult of Ecstasy tradition.
Hello, I'm Ben Nix, and I would be playing John Baker of the Euthanatos tradition.
Good evening, I am the Ivy Raven, and tonight I'll be playing Anita Maple of the Verbena tradition.
And Ben has pulled
I will
a Ben.
be playing... No, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here. It says so right here.
It's weird.
Don't do that.
Well, yeah, didn't hear you at all at the beginning.
Rev Ben Powers on the socials. Tonight I'm playing Vasily Yadovich, who doesn't give a fuck about magic.
Or
it's not off to a great start for me. Well, just run the game.
wouldn't be a session without you pulling a Ben. But we opened up last episode with Power Station's Some Like It Hot, which kind of set the tone for everything going on. We met the 4 characters going through a regular day, all of them brought together on Miracle Mile through whatever threads of fate have pulled them together. We got to see a familiar face of someone's past. We got to see several faces of several people's past, but Anastasia Elder, a jilted ex-boyfriend, a ex-superior officer, and what could possibly be someone's sister. And then, as suddenly as they were noticed, they exploded into pink mist of muscle, sinew, and blood. Cylindrical, almost clean, and well thought of in the process. A list later on that night came out of the names involved, but the 4 of them were brought together by one Professor Elias Vilden, who is one of the members of the current Miami Cabal, one of the few members that wasn't part of the 12th night bombing and managed to keep his avatar intact. We also got to meet one of the other members of the Miami Cabal that wasn't at the Biltmore the night of the explosion, and also got to keep his avatar, which is probably the worst thing that could have happened to Miami. But we did meet Ricardo Angel Cardenal, who was the twin brother of the young girl who was mostly dealing with Kelly's character, Anderson White. But the victims that were announced during the news were Jose Antonio Merconcini, Elena Maria Martinez, Brandon Garner, Janelle Ortiz Ortega, Yuri Nebadkov, Felicity Hughes, Christopher Springfield, Bianca Harris, Gertrude Thatcher, and Jonas Lee. 10 names for 10 circular, kind of destructive victims, or as someone put together afterwards, sacrifices for something much greater that might be happening in the city that sits on the bay. We got to see them the next day, meet Professor Elias Vilden at the park, where they found out that Daniel Byron Thatcher is still alive, though he is the only one out of the original members of the Cabal that is catatonic currently. And things started to snowball from there. We left off with you guys all kind of being introduced to Ricardo. Elias gave them each a card so they can contact him if they need to, showing that he is a professor at the University of Miami, and he has also given Ricardo a folded up piece of paper with some information. We pick up with a group outside of the small park in Coconut Grove. It is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, once everything has been hashed out. Ricardo looks at the group. Okay, well, visiting hours go until 5, so we got time. Anybody want a drink?
Yes.
Why not? I don't think we can get in to see the big man today.
Yeah, good. Okay, let's go. And he walks you over to his car, which is not a unstylish Buick. And he takes you to the edge of downtown and where Coconut Grove meet. And there is a small club that looks like it isn't open just yet, but quick couple knocks on the door, and a big Russian man, crew cut, short little shirt that looks to be 2 sizes too small for him, opens the door and then kind of nods at him and lets all of you in. What is the new club that Vasily has?
So the new club is just called Now, because it's a hip 80s modern establishment. It looks like an upscale version of the original Limelight. The color scheme is still horrible, but the materials that make up the awful color scheme are way higher quality. It is notable because it still does full food service, where the old place only had like 1 or 2 items. This has 6, and they're all Vasily's favorite foods. He has gone on to hire the grandmother of one of his business associates in the Cuban gang scene. His cousin Sasha is still his second in command. He's usually perched at the bar, and Vasily's office is almost completely identical to the one in the Limelight, meaning it has 2 chairs total, a sofa, and one of the chairs, the one on the opposite side, is like an inch shorter than the other one. There's random pictures pulled out of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, tacked to the wall because classy. And there is also a picture of a gentleman, built kind of middle-aged gentleman covered in tattoos that currently has several darts through it on the wall. And there's another one of, have they met David? Was it David or Daniel?
Thatcher, they have not.
Yeah, the catatonic one.
They have not yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a picture of a guy that will match his description on the wall as well, and that has several more darts sticking out of it.
Holding a grudge, I see. So, you get a knock on the door, and Sasha opens it. Hey, Vasily, there is the Cuban man here to see you with some other people. There are ladies with him. Did you order
Is he
ladies?
holding a machete?
No, there's no machete.
All right, invite them in.
Okay. And you see him, he cocks his head for a second, then he kind of nods and he waves to somebody. You guys are ushered into this office, and you see, what does Vasily look like in the aftermath of what happened on the floor?
So Vasily is still wearing the same nice threads that he always wears. Again, these are a slightly higher quality. He's definitely thinner, a little more haggard. But there's also a slightly harder edge to his eyes. Normally they were kind of jovial. Now they're jovial with just that hint of maybe something's underneath there that wasn't before. He has a couple scars he also didn't have before on his forearms. Look like cut marks, maybe defensive wounds from some point. But he knows Ricardo and here, they know each other, right?
Yes.
Okay. And John's here. Okay.
Yes, Ricardo, it's good to see you here at the club. It's been a very long time. I've missed you dearly.
Yeah, Bobby, tu sabes, we get busy and I should come around more often. I came to get a drink and to introduce you to the new recruits, as it were.
Yeah, recruits. And he looks around and offers a smile and wave offers a nod to John and then a smile and wave to the ladies. It's back at Ricardo. Son estos negocios de placer.
Tu madre por si acaso, as they say in Camagüey. And he kind of like looks around. We'll go sit at the bar, eh? You can join us?
Me? Well, I have some work I wanted to get done. Please, if anybody wants to grab a seat, I can have more chairs brought in. I would be remiss if I did not offer my guests a comfortable place to rest their asses. I would say get off your feet, but let's face it, they're still usually going to leave their feet on the floor, so Rest your asses. I like that expression a lot more. English is fun.
And Ricardo motions for everybody to walk in if they'd like to. Anybody walking into the office, give me a perception and alertness roll, please. Vasily, has the club passed all of its health regulations?
Of course.
What was the difficulty on that?
We'll say 6.
Okay, so I have 3 successes.
Does my
Okay.
specialty of intuitive apply to this?
Yes, sure.
Have the best health inspection money can buy.
That's 4 successes.
Okay.
1 second, sorry.
Yeah. So definitely Anita and Lydia have heard.
What was the difficulty on that?
6?
6. That is 2 successes.
Okay. John hears something, but it's not clear. It just feels like something shifted in the office. Anita and Lydia both hear what sounds like the scrambling of small feet. Probably a rat.
John, it's been too long. I was starting to think that you didn't like me anymore.
Okay, me?
Yes, you.
Sorry.
Your name's John. We're friends.
Yes, yeah. Well, business being business. I've been busy.
Yes, business being business. You and I do business.
And
I've had great business for you, but you haven't been around. It hurts my feelings. I'm a very sensitive man, John.
I understand. I tried to get to our meeting the other day, but people exploding in the streets kind of circumvented that.
In Miami, that is kind of an every other day thing, especially in the kind of circles that Ricardo travels in, which I assume that you're all traveling in them too, huh?
That would be an apt assumption.
Ricardo kind of looks over at Vasily.
I feel like I'm at Sausage Festival. Only men are talking. Ladies, please. I do not mean to make you feel as if you're not being listened to or appreciated. This is safe space where you may express your thoughts and feelings.
I got 1 success to try and sense what was the feet scurrying.
Oh. It is definitely something small.
Okay.
Something vermin.
Okay. Vasily, right? When people come in my experience, they don't always necessarily walk in with their weapons in their hand. As an example, and Anita's going to actually reach into her bag. I could have a machete in my bag, but she pulls out a little Polaroid. It's a Model 59 Polaroid. And she points it at Vasily. She opens it up. She points it at Vasily and clicks, and then closes it back shut and puts it back in her bag.
That isn't like one of your foci, huh? Like, I'm not going to have to worry about part of my soul being stolen.
No. I like taking
thank God.
pictures. So
I only have so many. If you also want some pictures, I have some files over here that some nice men have been taking of me for the last few years.
I'm more of I like to do my own photography work. So
Fair enough. Well, if you ever want, I can pose for you. You'll need a very long lens.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the offer.
Excellent.
But
Glad to hear it. This is nice.
Your food safety record thingy by the door, since you gotta post it. Did they know you have rats in here?
Probably not. I did not know I had rats in here till just now, so this is all news. You are already doing wonderful things for me. I feel as if I should do something for you. You've saved my business from potential catastrophic shutdown. Sasha, food. What would everybody like? I love pork sandwiches. Those are my favorite.
No,
Are
thank
you
you.
chef? No.
No, thank you. I'm not hungry right now, so.
You, John Jett, you want sandwich?
No, thank you. And it's Lydia Thompson. Pleasure to meet you, Vasily.
Yeah. Good to meet you, Lydia.
Actually, I'll just take water.
Water, duh. Do you want the regular water or the kind of water that I would drink?
What's the kind of water you would drink?
Glad you ask. And he goes behind his desk and opens a drawer and pulls out his preferred bottle of vodka. Very, very, very high end. He looks at the group. Well, and he pulls 3 glasses out, sets them down. Would you like one?
Certainly.
And we were going to get along famously, like Tom and Jerry, except I don't think one of us is trying to eat the other. At least not...
Not yet.
Not yet, exactly. I'll tell you what, though. You chase me with a mallet, we're going to have problems. John, would you like one?
One of you know me to refuse a drink.
Well, I've known you to refuse work, so sometimes you get surprised by people.
I never refuse work. Just because
Excellent.
all my
Grab
work
a seat,
isn't
you
for
big motherfucker. He pours another shot glass. Now, Anita, you did not want drink, right? Do you want drink? I can get you drink. Everybody else is having drink.
No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Good enough.
I'm not in the mental state to drink right now, so.
Is something wrong?
No,
Is that why you've come to Vasily?
no, we were all brought here, so I don't know why we were brought to Vasily, so that would be up to Ricardo over here to elaborate for us, so.
Well, I'm not going to let you all drink alone. And he takes the 3rd glass and pours some out, almost as if he knew that he would need exactly 3 glasses. And Strovia.
Strovia.
Blang.
Ricardo comes over, takes a swig from the bottle since you didn't give him a glass. We need the guns if you have them available.
You are lucky you're you, Ricardo. Remember what happened last time someone pulled a drink from my bottle without my permission?
Let's remember who also has their avatar, eh? I can make things very difficult.
You know, it's funny. I used to have one of those, and I couldn't help but notice that I'm still doing pretty okay. It's funny. I've never met a situation where someone with an avatar is going to be a little bit better off than someone that can think just a little bit ahead and has access to heavy ordnance and narcotics.
No.
But fair enough. I do not want to start a war with you, especially given how your august organization fucked me over last time. That and all of the other people that were stuck with me. Remember that? We were all helping, and then all of a sudden, we're the ones that got fucked over, not the people in charge. But Vasily, he is not bitter.
What exactly happened, Vasily?
You want to know what happened? Fine. One moment. Pork sandwich.
Sasha nods.
Ricardo, do you want me to chime in on this, or do you want my unedited version?
I wasn't there. Remember, I was the lucky one.
Duh, you were the lucky one. Very well. I'll need another drink for this. Anybody else who wants one, go nuts. If you put your lips on my fucking bottle again, we're going to have words. He pulls out a 4th glass. So,
Ricardo will actually light up a cigarette with a piece of flame off of his thumb, almost like he's showing off for you.
neat trick.
Show off.
Don't worry, I'm not offended. I like it. It's like when someone who loses their leg watches their friend do jumping jacks. Great move. Cocksucker. All right, so what happened? Well, let me tell you. I, believe it or not, was not exactly in with the magical underworld of Miami. In fact, I prefer to stay outside of it. Most of the time, it's clicky-based nonsense and useless things get in the way of what you actually need and want. I got brought in anyway. Bunch of murders were happening, very ritualistic, vampire or something in charge. Some asshole decides that he, who's been dead for centuries, wants to be like you again. I say like you, because not like me. I was a different breed. He does big thing. We're all brought to defend where the space drugs come from. And, the funniest thing happened. We all were brought there to help defend them. And then we all get attacked. We all get destroyed. Our connection to the thing that we all shared or at one time shared, ours got destroyed. Do you know who didn't get theirs destroyed? The fucker who brought us all there to begin with and is now sitting in vegetable patch. And believe me, for some reason he's very well protected. I've tried to find out a way around it, but thus far I have not gotten lucky.
Well, Ricardo, I think that answers your question to me earlier.
Ricardo does take a sip and he's like I told you, man, nobody has sensed an avatar inside of Daniel.
I told you, let me get my eyes on him.
I'd like to go on record and say that motherfucker still has something up his sleeve. But that is why I don't exactly trust anyone from your august organization anymore, especially people who have already been established. See, the way people like you do things is you get people who are either on the outside, new to the city, or are not quite as in on the terminologies and stuff that you use. They get made the bitch work. I will sit in my own bed. I was offered lots of money in order to do my part, which I did. I found out who was doing the killing, and I solved the murders.
Who did the murders?
It's some vampire.
Same one who's no longer a vampire, right?
The one running the Biltmore now?
The cocksucker's running Biltmore. God has sense of humor, and he's a fucking dick. Great, he's running Biltmore. Now I know where to find him. This is good news. You guys are amazing. Who needs guns?
Ricardo holds up his hand.
I've got access to guns, drugs, explosives. It's funny. You actually may be able to help me out, in which case we could come up with pro quo. I do not need compensation in terms of money for my assistance.
What do you propose?
Well, there's three things. Any one of the three, and you will make the silly the happiest of men. Thing number one. I doubt you're going to want to do this, but if you murder that cocksucker in the hospital, I'll be very happy. Thing number two. The Russians have been moving into Miami lately. And I'm not talking the helpful neighborhood Russians like myself. I'm talking the old country cocksuckers that are into... the revenue streams are not as high quality as mine. They like to sell people, usually from the villages. They bring them into the country. They sell them as slaves or sex objects. Not the kind of thing that I get into. Personally, I find it reprehensible. But they also have an aggravating habit of when they come into a new city, people of their nationality, they tend to push out of the way, absorb their organization, and give them a role as captain. Well, fuck them. I've made all this for myself. Furthermore, I find Russians irritating. There's something about them. Maybe it's the way they speak. Maybe it's the obnoxious, over-the-top way that they say things in English. It's just really aggravating. So if you could find some way to disrupt their operation here in Miami, those fuckers burned down my old club. I want to see them all killed.
Sorry, Vasily. Do these other Russians, do you know where they hang out?
More than likely, they've decided to... it's like when your grandmother dies and she gets buried in the dirt. The Limelight was my baby. She was my grandmother. When I come to this country, she was the first thing that I made of my own. Then they fucked her and threw her in the ground, and now they keep having sex on where her corpse is buried. So basically, she had the line. They are the Limelight.
I think I met some of them. They were very rude. So
They were rude to you.
Well, men in there, they think they can say whatever they want to say. Just because I didn't understand what they were saying didn't mean I didn't get the tone. So one of them has a souvenir though, so it's okay.
What did you do?
Anita pulls her sleeve down some and she shows her tattoo that's on her arm, and there's just a little addition to my work here. So
Wait, that's the Iron Star.
do what?
Usually you only get that when you serve time in the hole.
No, these are all runes and wards for me to protect me on my journeys. So
Oh, sorry, it looked similar to the kind.
no, I pulled from him and used in mine to kind of as a memento. So because he was a dick.
Wait, you pulled one of their tattoos off?
Part of it. If you ever see one with I believe it was his right arm, he should have, if he's ever going sleeveless again, you're going to see that he has missing parts of it in a odd looking pattern. But if you just kind of think about,
Oh my god! Oh, I love this! Oh god, if it would not be grossly inappropriate, I would leap over this table and I would give you bear hug. What you have just done is a mortal insult to them. That is absolutely terrible. There's fates worse than death for most Russians. This is one of them. You have done so well. I love you in a completely non-creepy way. I'm just saying that my estimation of you has gone up to here. And if you weren't you and I wasn't me, wow, we would have a thing. But we don't. So it's all great.
Yeah. She rummages around. She pulls out the business card drink ticket thing. Says like Alexi, or did it say Alexi's name on it, or did it just say Limelight on it?
Just says Limelight.
Okay. Yeah, the shortish one who was apologetic for his comrade's behavior, he gave me this, and she kind of hands it over to Vasily. It's I guess a drink slip.
Not even a different colored font. It is exactly how you used to print them out.
Anita's gonna put her hand out. Like, I don't necessarily want the drink, but it's a good way to get in the door. So.
Oh, I'm
no,
sure if it's like any other place, they have a ladies' night.
Oh. I'm not okay.
You'll also know when Vasily took the card, he took it with the fingernails on his thumb and forefinger. Not to mention his sympathetic link, given the fact that he had his hand on it. I'm assuming one of you knows how to fuck him over karmically.
Don't expect us to kiss and tell now, do you, Vasily? Come on now.
You're talking like this is the first time you've ever kissed something that I've offered you. Don't worry, she was very clean. Good friend of mine. Here, take the card back.
Oh,
I cannot look at it. It hurts my heart.
Oh, Anita puts it back away. Apologies.
Uh,
I thought one of them had said Vasily, but I wasn't 100% sure. They were talking in Russian for the most part. So
most of them are actually kind of terrified of me. I have this... I have a temper problem, and I know it's really hard to accept given that I have such an honest and open face and a very friendly demeanor. But when pushed too far, I can overreact somewhat. And after what happened to the last three that I caught, they are a little bit leery of being around me. Plus, I have several friends of the Cuban persuasion, and I'm not Ricardo. We're all very good friends. I fucking hate those guys, and I want them all to be dead, slowly. Personally, if I happen to corner Alexei, I'm going to fuck him in half with chainsaw. Let that go through your brain a bit. I'm a visual guy. Take a moment, savor what that probably looks like. I know I have. Several times, usually at night, under covers. Now, third thing that you can do for me. This is an outside shot. This I don't actually think is a possibility, but I've had a year to think about it. That motherfucker who broke what was going on, shattered the mirror, as it were. I'm assuming, given the fact that I've been hearing about spontaneous human combustion and other people randomly dying, it has something to do with that side of the fence. Ah, good. Communication. Very nice. My theory is that part of what we lost was absorbed by this motherfucker who now runs the Biltmore. He used what we had to become what he is. But also pretty good that he might have missed a few things. It's not like the human soul is simply a glove that you can slip on and take off, or like condoms, fill up and then throw away. It's one of those things where it always leaves a piece of something behind. When you break a window, there's always slivers. There's an outside chance that part of those may still be lingering around. Now, I highly doubt it because I wouldn't be that lucky. But there may be. And it might not just be true of me. That might be true of the other poor cocksuckers that were involved. Chuck being the one that I missed the most. I love Chuck. Chuck and I were very dear friends. If you ever get the chance to talk to him, really nice guy. He loves me. But if you find a way to preserve or otherwise obtain any remnants of that night, whether they're tied to whether they seem to be tied to my resonance or not. I don't know if it's possible to restore what I lost, and personally, my life has not been... I have not felt much of a loss of it. My life is still fantastic, but at the end of the day, it was something that was part of me that was taken away because some cocksucker decided to either make a deal with Vampire or was too stupid to know what was going on. I would kind of like that back, if it is possibility. So in order, kill motherfucker in hospital for taking me over, help me fuck over the Russians, or find part of my soul that was broken. I think these are very easy things to do. In exchange, I had so many weapons. I've got information, I've got weapons, I've got drugs. Personally, I'm going to give you massive discount based purely on the fact that you took that man's tattoo off, and he's probably going to be killed because of it.
Oops.
Fantastic. One less prick on the streets.
You damn right. God, I fucking love all of you. You're much better than last group I was forced to work with.
Door opens and you can hear the strange flute sound of Men at Work's Down Under. A little bit too loud.
I fucking hate this song. God damn it, Sasha. I told you to fire that cocksucker.
I can't fire him. He is my cousin.
No, I've told you this before. How the fuck did he manage to follow us from there? I told you to get rid of him. No Men at Work at the show. Have I told you no more Men at Work?
This is his warm-up.
I do not give a fuck if it's his warm-up. They make music that is perfectly calibrated to go straight to my fucking brain. It turns my brain into tapioca. It also makes my balls hurt. That's what it's doing right now. It's lowering my sperm count. With every my sperm count gets lower.
At that moment, Lydia actually opens her bag and takes out a card and slides it across the desk to Vasily and say, "You've got problems down there? You come see me."
Baby, I have a feeling that it would not be a problem with you and I.
It's not like that, Vasily.
No, of course not. I did not mean to imply that it was a less than platonic and business-related situation. Believe me, I've paid many women to help me with that problem.
Again, not like that.
Some
things that may blow your mind.
You see, it's like T-ball game. I love T-ball, American. It's like baseball, but with training wheels. I love it. Kids that are disabled play it. It's fantastic. You get to watch them swing at the ball all day long, and they keep missing. It's great fun. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you whatever you want: money, drugs, weapons. Well, not money. That's mine. Whatever you need from Vasily. If you're willing to help Vasily out, I will consider this a favor.
Sounds fair. So let's start with this. Where are these Russians getting their supplies from?
It's a combination of things. When they came in, they brought a lot of resources from the old country. They've also forcibly taken some of the area that belonged to our Cuban friends when they first arrived. They've got operations usually bringing in on trucks, transport. The Cubans have the docks, so they don't usually go through there, but they tend to bring people in on larger shipping containers. You'll find them a lot in stockyards. That's where they do most of the business. You'll also find them close to my old haunting grounds. I moved uptown because I had money, but the limelight was always my baby, so I kept it around. I've moved up in the world since then, become very rich, very powerful. I am now officially the guy, if you know what I'm talking about.
Ricardo just shakes his head.
Yeah.
You think something's funny, Ricardo? You don't like that I call myself the guy. Okay. We'll have conversation later.
Because we need the gun each. That's it. Simple favor. Don't know what we're going to do.
After you just insulted me, simple favor.
Then how about I ask? A gun each?
What kind of gun? Something large caliber, short caliber, multi-shot, big clip?
Oh, I do like a big clip.
God, we are getting along so well. I love this. Well, I have something with plenty big clip, but limited amount of bullets. So.
At least you're honest.
Oh, absolutely. The thing with a bullet is you only need one to kill if you know how to use it right.
That's exactly right.
You're damn right. These are all innuendos about sex. So.
I do love someone that can banter.
I am a banterer. When they come to this country, I say, country, America, I am Vasily. I'm here to banter with you. Next thing you know, I am drug kingpin and have lots of money. Weirdest thing. So, I'm able to provide weapons. What kind of weapons do you want? Give me a type. Give me a make. Give me a model.
I like something small and tossable.
See, we almost went back into it, but we didn't.
No, I'm being serious, though.
Oh, that's fine. You want to make a mess. I have no problem with that. I mean ordnance, by the way, not anything else. Very clean. I have grenades, actually, if you want them.
That would be perfect for me.
Okay, Anita, what would you like? I see you as a quiet but murderous type.
I've only ever shot like a BB gun back home. So I when I was wandering, I saw like a TV show through a window on storefronts, and there was a guy with a mustache, and he had a gun, and it looked kind of cool. So I think it was, what was the name of that show?
Magnum PI?
It might have been that. I don't know. He had a mustache and a red car, and he had a gun. And so I think
I had a couple ideas for you. Idea number one. What's Anita's build? Like,
she's
slight, jacked.
She's slight-ish. I mean, she's like 5'2", I believe. She's not. Okay. She's not like bulky or anything.
Okay. So I have a feeling shotgun might be a little bit problematic for you. Size-wise, it is quite of a kick. It's not to assume that you're not able to handle it, but you want something that you're going to be able to repeatedly use to murder another person. Shotgun, you might get one or two shots off, but they have to be relatively close. Now, I'm thinking for you, we use one of two things. Sasha.
Door opens suddenly. You can hear dancing in the moonlight outside.
Better thing. Two things. First, where's my fucking sandwich? I asked for it 20 minutes ago. Second, bring in the wardrobe.
Okay. I put sandwich in table. You were busy with your innuendos. I did not want to interrupt.
Is the sandwich on the table?
There is a sandwich on the table.
You know what? Fuck you, Sasha. Go get my wardrobe.
I
You
start
are
eating the
angry.
sandwich.
Right as the door closes, you just hear, he is angry today for some reason.
Well, Vasily, let me ask you a question. After all this goes down and our Russian friends are no longer in business, do you want the limelight intact or do you not care?
Obviously, I want the limelight intact. She's my baby.
Okay.
But I can always rebuild.
All right. Second question. What kind of product do you have on hand that I could tantalize these Russians into thinking they might want to do business with a new player?
Well, I'm not exactly going to let you run around with a suitcase full of cocaine, John. We're friends, but not that we're not that much friends.
Well, you know I can move it even if it's not to these Russians, but I just need something to give them a taste to get us in the door.
That will constitute a bigger favor. Giving you all guns is one thing, but the suitcase of cocaine is a commitment.
Hey,
We'll talk. You'll owe me. You'll just owe me a few. You'll owe me a few favors. That's not the big deal, right?
what's a few favor among friends, right?
I'm glad we understand each other.
The door
Sasha,
opens.
where's the wardrobe?
The door opens just as you yell out, and you see him come in with 2 mannequins, all of them strapped with weapons.
Excellent. Also, could you do me a favor, Sasha? Get me another sandwich, this one pork, and a suitcase full of cocaine.
You just in bags or just thrown into the suitcase?
I don't know. What do you think the best option might be, Sasha? Loose cocaine in a suitcase or bags of cocaine in a suitcase? Let's get your input. What do you think?
I mean, I would think that the bags are safer to
You do.
transport.
That is a really good idea I had not considered. Jesus Christ, if we weren't family, I'd have shot you and left you in a ditch by now. Is what I'd say if I didn't love you and you weren't my favorite cousin. But you are. Come here, give me a hug.
He trepidatiously gets closer.
I stand up and give him a big hug. Now go get my sandwich and a suitcase full of cocaine in bags.
Sounds good, you got it.
I now see why that's your favorite water.
Duh. I have a feeling. First off, we are not immediately on family tree. I have a feeling that his mother, father, and grandfather were trying to keep the bloodline pure. If you understand what I'm saying. But he's a nice boy. He tries hard. Fucking idiot. Anyways, all right. So John wants suitcase full of cocaine. You want explosives? Anita, here's what I was thinking for you. Goes over to the mannequins. They're all hanging with weapons. Now, for you, I was thinking either this wonderful Glock 9mm, easily carried in your bag, multiple shots. I have more than enough clips for ammunition. This one is modified with a laser sight to assist with aiming and a slight scope. Now, normally on the street, this actually goes for quite a bit. Serial numbers are already filed off, but I think it would work given your build. You can get multiple shots off, and, well, not necessarily great against things like, I don't know, vampires. It will kill anybody else. People, us, you, anyone. The other option I had for you is slightly more exotic. And he goes over to the second mannequin and pulls one of the straps off, and it is a full bore crossbow, like a tactical style one. This is a crossbow. I know. It's really easy to tell. This one's been slightly modified, though. This is a double wing style. Now, on the top, you've got the arrow number 1. Second trigger, arrow underneath, arrow number 2. Most crossbows, you have to fire once, crank the thing back, and go ahead and put the next one in. This, you get 2 shots. Now, this will mangle someone and ruin their day, but if you are a particularly good shot, you might be able to fuck over vampires' day, too. If you're not so good at aiming, that is perfectly okay. You've got magic for that, huh?
I feel like people would notice the crossbow. She kind of pats her satchel bag. Like, this isn't. I will take the smaller one.
I have a specially prepared case for crossbow if you want to. It looks like guitar case. It's very stylish. Someday they will make movie with man with guitar case
We'll
full of
take
weapons. Excellent. You know what? Because Anita was good enough to fuck over that other guy, you can have it, and I will give you the other gun.
Thanks. When Anita like gets the gun, she kind of like holds it kind of like awkwardly and just kind of like into her bag. There we go.
Take this too. And he hands her a clip of 9mm ammunition. There's 8 arrows in the case. Remember, it's double loaded, so you want to make sure that you take an extra second to load the second arrow. It will slow down your initial ramp-up time, but as long as you know what you're going into, you'll be good to go. He then hands Lydia. There's a little hot pink fanny pack on one of the mannequins, and he opens it up and pulls out 3 grenades that have all been painted yellow with the black smiley face that's now a sudden fashion accessory.
Oh, that's
Have
awesome.
a nice day, right?
Exactly.
I love these shirts. These shirts are so fun. Every time I look at one, I feel happy. Here you go. These are grenades. You may have.
Excellent. Can I take the fanny pack too?
Give me that smile. Yes, you can have fanny pack. Anything that I know is going around your waist, you can have. Now, John. Suitcase full of cocaine, da?
The door opens. Sasha brings in the suitcase. He opens it. He's like, I put the 2 bags on each of the packets just to be safe. And you can see that there is the wrapped brick of cocaine inside of what looks to be a Ziploc bag. There's about 16 of them in the suitcase.
Yeah, that should be
This
enough.
is
to give it a taste.
This is a mixed bag, John. Only 2 of these are pure. The rest are made for consumption. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine the street value of a suitcase full of this cocaine is quite a lot of bit of money. You're going to have to work for me for a little while to make up for this, da?
That's fine.
Excellent.
You know I'm good for it.
And I will go ahead and write John's name on my equipment, my character. Well, you've all been given weapons of destruction. I've told you how you can repay me for my kindness. Hopefully this has been a lovely conversation between future friends as opposed to necessarily business associates. Except for you, John. We're going to be joined at the hip. You're going to love this. Anita, it was lovely meeting you. Your method of fucking over people that you don't know? Mwah.
Oh.
Lydia,
Oh.
I'm not saying that I'm going to be thinking of you later, but we'll be in touch.
Oh, you will be.
I know. I'm going to be taking down some of those posters, if you know what I mean. So, we're all having a good time. I have had a great time meeting you. Please have some food on your way out. Feel free to request a few things from DJ, and you have a great rest of your evening.
And thank you for the drink, Vasily.
He pours out another one, and at the risk of pulling an ST type thing, does anybody have subterfuge or empathy that they feel like rolling with perception?
What are you trying to convey?
His smile has some intent behind it.
I'm going to roll that.
Yeah, I'll roll it too.
Sure, why not? What are we rolling?
Perception and
Either
subterfuge.
empathy, subterfuge.
Oh.
5 successes on that.
Jesus.
Lydia's real
There-
perceptive.
There is a note of
2 successes.
it. So you get that there's 2 pieces to this. One is an honest enjoyment of the conversation. The second is a very slight look of vindictive triumph.
Lydia just gives a coy grin, straps on her fanny pack, grabs the guitar case and throws it on her shoulder.
As you guys come out of the office into the main kind of dance hall, you hear the record scratch. Excuse me. As the DJ kind of sees the two ladies coming out of the office, and he immediately puts on Hall & Oates' Sarah Smile. And he just kind of like has that sly smile and nod. He clearly thinks that something went on in the office that didn't happen.
Lydia throws him a wink as she walks out.
Okay. Yeah. When Anita's walking out, she wants to actually like pull the Polaroid out of the Polaroid camera and look at it. So.
Okay. Ricardo's gonna stick back for a bit. Pull Vasily to the side. Listen, Vasily. Things are happening in the city that might be attached to what happened at the Biltmore. Maybe be a little bit more cautious around people, okay?
Two things. Thing number one, Vasily greatly appreciates the concern of you looking out for him. I'd like to think that, past all the bullshit, you and I are great friends, at least your august organization and myself. Vasily and the Cubans, we're like this, huh?
Next thing.
Thing number two. Do not ever walk through my fucking door and tell me what to do again. Do not take of my drink, do not eat of my food. Unless I say otherwise, you are not welcome here. Now, have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy a sandwich, enjoy a drink before you go, and, make sure to call before you come over next time, huh?
He extends his hand out. I apologize.
Don't worry about it. Hey, you know what? Friends hug. And he goes in for a great big hug.
Okay.
And then Vasily just sniffs him a little.
It's weird because the second you take a whiff of that aftershave that he has, there's a moment where you feel like throwing up. And kind of lets you go and smiles at you. Enjoy your vodka.
I will. Hey, one more second. And he goes over to his desk and pulls out some wet naps, because Vasily has wet naps at his desk for reasons, and throws it to him.
You may want to give yourself a rub down, Ricardo. You smell like shit.
He crumbles up the wet nap and puts it in his pocket. I'll hold on to this for later.
Excellent. Be aware I did not actually touch it. Just in case. Have a good evening. Shut the door on your way out.
And they leave. And they will head over to the Chrome Behavioral Institute and grounds on the far eastern side of the city. And as we head over there, I think this is a good time to say goodbye to Rev Ben Powers. And take a moment after dealing with the kind of slime that falls off of Vasily regularly to take a break and wash our hands and come back in a little bit.
Thank you all. That was so much fun.
We'll be right back, everyone. See you in a few minutes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of our Neon Tempest episode. I want to say another thank you to Rev Ben Powers for coming on and reprising Vasily. You helped push the narrative along to where it needs to go. And one of the fun things is that Anita has a wonder in that Polaroid, and the Polaroid that it produces shows the exact moment that somebody dies. And what it shows for Vasily is the inside of what looks to be this extravagant room. There is a simple, very clean white comforter on the bed. There is a open kind of suitcase of drugs of different kinds to one side, and there's just a splatter of red blood about to hit the curtains behind him as 3 bullet holes have been impacted into his body. 2 in the core and 1 right at the throat. But it looks like he has been surprised by whatever has happened to him. This was not an expected death. Is this something that you would like to share with the group?
She's gonna pass it up to John in the car, wherever John is in the car. That might be your. I'm not sure. Considering, sounds like you're going to owe Mr. Vasily back there. So.
Well, there's Owen and there's Owen, but where'd you get this?
That's the camera, my little Polaroid 59. So
what's this about? So this is when he gets taken out?
That's
Is that some kind of relic or something like that?
Yeah. I don't typically like to take pictures of people, but I wasn't really sure on Mr. Vasily, and since he was already avatarless, I thought, why not? So,
Well, went out like he came in. Here's to you. And he hands the photograph back.
Lydia's sitting in the front seat next to Ricardo, but she's overheard this. Don't ever take my picture. I really don't want to know.
oh no, I don't typically take people's pictures. I wasn't sure on Mr. Vasily because my interaction with the rude Russians, they were kind of, whatever about him. And so I wasn't sure if it was, I didn't know if we were going to walk in there and he was going to be like the rude Russians or what. So I just thought, I guess it was a good opportunity for me to teach him a life lesson about people being armed without looking like they're armed. Because since he was obsessed with us having machetes, I don't know. So
Will, does that room at all look familiar that's in the picture?
Ooh, give me an intelligence and awareness roll.
Oh, does he actually look older in the picture or does he look the same age?
Maybe a little bit older.
Okay.
There's a full beard on his face.
Difficulty 6?
Let's go up to 7 for this.
All right, 2 successes.
You've seen that curtain somewhere.
Okay.
You know that you've been in that room. So it's definitely something. It's definitely some place you've been in, and you've been in more than once.
Not quite placing it though?
No,
Okay.
no name comes to mind.
All right.
Apologies for bringing down the mood. It's not something I do very often, but considering Mr. Vasily's dance with death already, I thought he might be an appropriate person to take a portrait of.
Hey, wheel turns as the wheel wills, unfortunately.
Though I suspect this kind of lends credence that he's not going to get his shards back or whatever he's hoping for. So,
Well, that's kind of last on the list because I'm thinking it works in our favor to figure out what's going on with this Daniel guy. But I think we should focus on gains above everyone else. Russians are easy. Does that make sense?
It does.
yeah.
It does.
It's a clean 30 to 45 minutes of a drive, so you have plenty of time to talk about the picture, what it might mean, before you pull up to the facility.
Lydia's actually going to look at Ricardo while he's driving and say, "You got a beef with that one, don't you?"
He is a scumbag, plain and simple. Don't like how he talks.
Mm.
He's got big pants to fill that he's never going to fill.
He's definitely excessive with his cousin or whoever, Sasha. So, but then again, it's a totally different experience from what I'm used to. So maybe that's normal where he's from. I might be the abnormal one. So
You don't treat family like that. But he turns up the radio and you hear Lou Rawls, "You'll never find another love like mine," straight into the first chorus. And he just kind of zones out on the drive. When you get there, it looks like a simple 3-story building. Outside, they kind of check you in. They ask for all of your IDs. They give you visitors passes, and they tell you that he's outside on the veranda. And as you travel through the front entrance, the big hallway that has this massive double stairs that kind of goes up to the second floor, almost like a helix pattern, and then goes up again to the third floor. This looks like it could have been some kind of estate at some point, some plantation. And as you come outside, you see that there is this kind of fat gray and black striped cat sitting on the railing, just observing the couple of guests that are with patients. In a wheelchair, you can see the simple terry cloth robe that they've given him, the long graying hair, the very unkempt beard of this white gentleman that just kind of has his head lulled down, his hands placed one on top of the other on his lap. And there is a gentleman, dark-skinned, kind of oblong head, very short kept hair, no facial hair, very soft, kind of honey-colored eyes, simple clothing, a shirt, a jacket, slacks, and some penny loafers. And he stands up as he sees Ricardo. You were told to come here? Did Elias tell you to come here? Ricardo nods. It's okay, Bashir. They're friends. And he turns to all of you. This is Bashir Toussaint. He is the verbena of our cabal. And he kind of brings his hands up to his chest, and very, very pious-like, and kind of nods, welcoming. There is a stone bench. I could wheel him over if you would like to join us. And Ricardo nods.
Lydia's just watching the gentleman in the wheelchair the whole time.
Mm-hmm. John's doing the same.
There are very faint but erratic finger movements. Like his top hand pointer finger seems to be tapping erratically. But the head is lulled down into his right. And it's almost like he's trying to. He doesn't have like a glazed over expression. Like he is very actively kind of darting his eyes around, trying to keep tabs on something.
Is there something I can roll to try to sense what he's trying to keep tabs on?
You could try mind.
Okay.
If you want to try to figure out what's at the top of his thought process, or you could try life to kind of pinpoint where his eyes are darting.
Let's go with mind first.
Okay.
As Lydia sits down on the stone bench, she basically props her elbows on her knees, leans her head on her hands, and basically just runs her fingers along her bracelet. It's her focus for mind.
Yeah. So it's going to be coincidental because nobody else can see what you're doing. So it's going to be a difficulty 5 on your arete.
That's 2.
Okay. He is a blank slate. There's no real thought process like you're used to from regular people. But you sense a dread in him. There's terror. And there's an image of what must be a tiger or a lion, something massive. And you feel like they're attached to each other.
Okay. Now I want to check the life.
Okay.
I'll do this one without a focus because, well, actually, no, I won't because it'll be too obvious if she starts fidgeting everywhere. So I'll do it without that.
That'll be difficulty 6 for your arete roll.
Okay, and that is 2.
Okay. It looks like he's constantly trying to see what's behind him. He's worried about something creeping up on him. It's erratic. It's nervous. There's no rhyme or reason to it. He needs to keep tabs on something that he feels is creeping up behind him.
So, is it possible for Anita to ask? Because I was, before I even heard what you said, I was thinking about this, and she doesn't know what she doesn't know what Lydia's done. But would it be possible for her to ask Falling Leaves to see if they see anything, since they are in like the spirit realm?
Sure. Are you gonna ask? Do you have the mind to ask telepathically?
No, I do not.
Okay, so you have to voice to nothing.
Yeah. Falling Leaves. Can you see if you see anything here?
You hear the chittering of the red fox kind of nodding and climbing down off of your shoulder, jumping down onto the floor. And from your vision, it vanishes as it slips sideways into the umbra.
Okay.
After a moment, you see it slide back, and it looks like its form has been damaged. There are pieces of ephemera that are coming off of it and kind of like dusting off into the wind, very similar to just blowing this cake of dust off of a piece of furniture.
So like it looks like it's been hurt?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
shit.
it pads towards you and it just kind of like curls up at your feet. And you get the sense that there's something wrong on the other side.
Okay. Anita actually is going to kind of like crouch down. So, like where if you kneel down, but not onto her knees, kind of on the, the balls of her feet or whatever. I'm doing a bad job of saying it. And she's going to actually kind of like reach out and try and kind of to touch, Falling Leaves with one hand, kind of pat its back, but then also kind of offer her hand the other side to like where its mouth is, just be like kind of whispering, like this will help, so I don't know. She doesn't know if feeding it will help it or not, but she's worried. So
Sure. Do you want to feed it a point of quintessence?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and mark off one of your points. And it does. The second that it ingests some of your essence, it does start to seal its wounds up. And it kind of nods at you.
She's kind of smiling to herself as she kind of continues petting. It looks like she's basically just petting something like, just petting air sort of. But if this is a mental asylum, it's probably common. So,
yeah. Lydia and John both sense the sudden transference of energy through their use of Prime. Anita has definitely given some of her essence away.
While Anita was basically talking to herself, in order to distract folks from that, I leaned forward to the gentleman in the chair and introduced myself. Mr.
His
Byron,
finger has stopped moving.
I am Lydia Thompson. I know you are afraid. How can I help?
His eyes stop darting and focus on you.
And she stares him right in the eyes.
No sound comes out of him, though.
Gonna roll mind again.
Same difficulty. There is an image in his mind now of a couple of trees, and it looks like they're maybe on the other side of this courtyard. They look like they have been grown simultaneously, like they were planted together, they've grown together, and they've had their branches kind of knotted into an archway. And he's just thinking about that.
She'll nod to him, and then she turns and looks around.
Anita is bent over, kind of crouched down, holding something in her hands. John is standing nearby. Ricardo and Bashir are where you first found Daniel, and they're kind of talking to each other.
Do I see the arched trees?
Yeah. They're alone. Nobody's there. And it does look like there used to be a stone bench there. You can see the two legs, but the bench itself has been taken away.
Hey, John? Wheel Mr.
Yeah.
Byron over to those trees.
Sure. And John goes over and starts wheeling him over there. While he's doing that, would it be possible with a combination of entropy and time to read his fate pattern and see how it intertwines with ours?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Ooh. It definitely can. Do you have a focus for either one of those spheres?
I have a focus for entropy. It's the coin.
Okay. And do you want to just do it from the hip, or do you want to prolong the effect? Like, do you want to take the time that it takes you to wheel him to the trees to garner more successes than just the initial roll?
Yes.
Okay. So you're taking your time wheeling him over there.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say it'll be 4 rolls
Okay.
of your arete, and it'll be difficulty 6.
Okay.
While he's doing that, Lydia hangs back a little bit for Anita.
Yep.
Did you send yours over?
Yeah. And
There's
she
a tiger or a lion, something really fierce.
Yes. And she's kind of come falling, and she kind of puts her arm so that you can kind of climb back up onto her shoulder. As she stands back up. Yeah. When he came back across, he was hurt. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sending mine over here. It seems to be attached to this guy.
It's probably his.
I think it's been corrupted.
Yeah. Uh-oh. That's not great.
He wants to go to this arch. Let's go to this arch and see what he tries to tell me there.
Sounds like a plan. She kind of is like, sorry, So she's apologizing a little bit to her shoulder as she walks that direction.
So you all head over to the arch, and as you're taking him over, John, you can see that there are strands that are frayed, that are not attached to anything, that they sense like they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Some of them have your names. Some of the strands look like they should be attached. They have your names attached to them. Like he should be a prime figure with the size of the threads that you're sensing, but you don't know why they're cut. As the four of you arrive at the archway, Anita can sense that the gauntlet is weak here. Something happened near these trees or at these trees. Something mystical. You don't know when, you don't know how, but you definitely know that somebody with a better understanding of spirit could probably step sideways here.
Anita begins to kind of run her hand over part of the tree arch thing. She's kind of looking at it, and she's just kind of mumbling to herself, and then she kind of turns back towards John and Lydia. And something potentially bad happened here. You could be someplace else if you had the skill and you were here. I think that's why it's the arch. It's a door without being a door.
She senses us. You hear.
Just me?
Just you.
What?
What?
Some voice just said she senses us, and I'm not appreciative of that. Did you not hear that?
No, and I lean down
No.
and I look at Mr. Byron.
Our friend here is a bit damaged.
His finger has gone back to erratic movement, and his eyes are not as erratic. They're trying to focus over his left shoulder.
There are threads in his pattern that have been torn out or cut that shouldn't be cut.
I want to try to see what he's seeing.
Okay, that's gonna be life.
This time, she will actually take the little vial off her necklace, put a drop of water in her hands, close it back up, and then she's going to reach out and touch his hand with that hand she put the drop in.
Okay, difficulty 5.
Yeah, that's 2.
He is eyeballing the gray cat. It is no longer on the railing. It has made its way over behind one of the trees. But it seems to be interested in what's happening.
Do we notice that the cat's moved or just Lydia?
Just Lydia right now.
He's tracking the cat, the one that was up on the railing.
Did it move?
Yeah, it's over there
Where
now.
is it?
She points and the cat has moved.
I'd like to use Prime Sense on the cat.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. It'll be difficulty 5.
1 success.
That's all you need. The cat glows with a brightness that's almost akin to a sun. Like the second you blink into your prime focus, it almost blinds you. It almost forces you to take a step back from how bright it shines. It is a monstrous kind of familiar.
That cat's not just a cat.
Of course not.
Like I went to a softer kind of site, and that thing is like watching a star.
And something's attached to him that is feline and very vicious.
So any of y'all know how to talk to these spirits? Because that's not my cup of tea.
Not really my forte either. I can sense them sometimes, but
This one is modest, brother.
now they're saying I'm modest, but
Then give it a try.
give what a try. Am I supposed to take the cat and like hit him on the head with it? I
Try talking back to them. You can hear
You
them.
say you can hear them.
Okay. Just kind of like trying to look at the cat as best she can. Like, so can we do something for you?
The cat stares up at you, almost like he's unafraid of you.
Okay. If I keep talking to you, they're gonna put me in here. So, any assistance is beneficial, and if it's not you, then she's kind of like looking around. Somebody else, something else. Sorry.
Just tilts his head at you.
I'm not getting this cat high. That's most of the spirit stuff I've done has been, and I don't really want to try and considering what they did to my friend. So okay, let me think. Is it possible to use? Oh, that'd be a bad idea.
Can I combine Prime and Life for this cat?
Considering that it is a familiar, it is not alive technically, so you
Okay.
can't
Then
affect
Prime
its
and
pattern.
Mind.
You could try just mind to reach out towards it.
Okay. I want to do that while she's trying to talk to it to see if it's cognating anything.
Okay.
Am I supposed to like open the door? Still not giving me anything here, guys.
What does Lydia get from it? She got 2 successes.
There is no feline mind inside the cat. There's no simple hunter versus prey mentality. There is a very advanced thought process here. This thing has cataloged the 3 of you as threats to its master. Right now, it feels like it's trying to ascertain what powers you have, and it has labeled Anita the most important one to destroy first, since it can sense it. Since she can sense it.
Okay.
And it is cataloged you second because you were the one that reached out to it.
I understand. Yeah, it's sizing us up as threats.
Fantastic.
And I look down at
Anita-
Mr. Byron and say, if you've set us up for this, you son of a bitch, I'll kill you myself. And then I step away.
At this point, Ricardo and Bashir have come over.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricardo's like, why did you bring Daniel over here?
Because he
We've
wanted
tried-
to.
But we've tried to, from what I've heard at least, they've tried to take him to different places. He's never reacted to anything.
Told you, let me get my eyes on him. I can get reactions, Ricardo.
Bashir steps forward and he kind of touches the trees. The gauntlet is soft here, malleable.
That's a problem, and she points to the cat.
He blinks for a moment, and then you see him kind of cover his eyes as he's reacting to the brightness. And he's like, that is new.
New.
The cat has always been here, but it's never done that.
Please explain. I have seen a lot of weird shit within less than 48 hours.
The cat is glowing like a familiar, but we have never noticed this before. It's always been a simple cat.
Well, it seems to think we're a threat to its master. How can we track its master?
We would have to find the thread in the Umbra. Have you all been?
Can't say that I have.
Not in the traditional sense.
This is going to feel strange then. And he places his hand on one of the trees, and there is a literal sound of something being torn asunder. And you can see that his own pattern shifts and glitches for a moment. And the archway becomes passable. The air looks different underneath the arch. It kind of ripples like water. I have to hold the gate open, so I must stay here. You will have to figure out what to do with the cat on the other side.
Can we take the cat with us? Maybe that makes it easier.
It's a being of both worlds.
Cat's already there.
Oh, I was just saying we could take it with us, and then it's not such a cat and mouse game. I don't know.
It's already there waiting for us.
Great.
And it'll be right nearby because it's attached to that one, and I point to Mr. Byron in the chair.
Oh, well. No use waiting.
I step through.
I thought we'll walk right through after.
Nita takes a big breath before she steps through.
It is almost like going through the Stargate, which is a movie that hasn't been made yet. There is just this moment where you're in the real world 1 second, And then there's a lightness to you. Everything is glowing with a vibrancy that you've never seen before. The browns are so much more brown. The greens are so much more green. The trees have faces. The fence has a face. There's spiders all over it. Little blue, very kind of sharp-edged spiders. One of the trees smiles as Anita comes through. She has stepped towards us, brother. And you recognize the voice now.
Oh, it was Anita. Kind of like runs her hand over the tree, like it was you guys talking. Okay.
There's a very joyful smile on its face.
She goes over and rubs the other side too, so that the both of them get a little bit of a rub. So
Yeah, they are not jealous.
yes.
From where the cat was in the real world, there is this massive 6-legged tiger. It is mythical in its size. It's almost 6 feet tall at the shoulder. And it just has that same look of calculating just how much a threat you are to it and its master. But around it, like an aura, there is black and white. Where it steps, there is just a remnant of black and white, like it's siphoning the color out of this world. And as it steps back away from you, you can see in the dirt where its paw prints were just placed against the grass, 3 bodies come up like memories. They are unknown to Lydia and Anita, but these are faces that John could never forget. Because the first one to stand up is James Cooper, the second is Sam Davis, and the last one is Charles Miller.
But you boys been hanging around, and John kind of does an involuntary step back.
Friends of yours.
Yep, the best.
They shamble forward like zombies. We miss you, John. And they all talk at the same time. It's a cacophony of haunting voices. We need you to step with us, Baker. It's a long time coming. The cat grins, a devilish grin, and it starts to fade into nothing.
Where did it do so near the trees at all, or where did it fade?
Maybe like 5 or 6 steps behind where it was.
Okay. So it just backed up and allowed this to happen. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, this cat's really fucking smart. Real fucking smart, using distractions and everything.
Anita?
Anita's just gonna call towards it. We're not trying to hurt you. We're not trying to hurt. Can't remember the guy's name in the wheelchair. We're not trying to hurt him. We're trying to reunite you two if we can, because he seems to be, or is he scared of you because
He's scared of it.
But why? What the hell is going on here? Your little people things, John, ignore them. The
John takes another step back as they get closer.
Yeah. They don't care about Anita or Lydia. They're focused on John.
This ain't happening.
And
His hands start shaking.
can Anita, can I do something like use forces and spirit to kind of maybe like blow them away, just kind of like dematerialize them for a little bit so that we can kind of keep on going?
You could try. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a focus for either one of those?
I have a focus for forces on my tattoo.
Okay. So that'll mean it's a difficulty 6 then for snap casting.
Okay. Am I going to damage paradox because we're on the other side?
There is no paradox in the Umbra.
Oh, hell yeah. All right.
That's one of the joys of being out here.
2 successes with my 2 dice.
There is a moment where you actually notice that there is no breeze on this side of the spirit gate.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wind entity. And as you pull on the natural forces of just pulling some kind of breeze, you actually do feel it come from the gate itself, almost like you called it through. And you see this just hand go flying past the 3 of them, and it does scatter them for a moment.
She kind of snaps her fingers at John. John, focus.
Their boots are still there. Their boots are still walking towards you.
Well, boots are made for walking, so let's start walking too.
I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick up a pair of the boots and toss it out the gate.
Okay. Make a strength and athletics.
All right. That is 3 successes.
Okay. You grab the boots. It is Sam Davis's boots. And John, you see her just rush up, grab the boots, and then just swing them towards the gate. And there's a moment where you're taken back to Vietnam. You're taken back to that ditch that you had to claw out for yourselves. And the second the boots hit the gate, you hear him scream again. Just like he screamed when he got shot. Just like he screamed when he felt his life force ebbing away. And as the boots disintegrate in the gate, your fondest memories of him before Vietnam are erased.
John screams, "No!" His hands go to his ears. He falls down to his knees.
Shit.
You hear the cat. Just the face is visible. You can't save Mr. Thatcher.
Really?
Why not?
You're not strong enough. And it fades away.
Okay, well, thanks. If we're not strong enough, then we could find someone who is. You just had to tell us how to help.
John, sorry about that. I figured it was one way to get the obstacle out of the way. Obviously, that was damaging. Wasn't my intent.
He's just on his knees holding his head. He's not even registering
Jesus Christ.
the 2 of you right now.
Shit. Okay, so running off into the Umbra after this thing is probably not super smart. Should have brought the guy in the wheelchair with us. Just rolled him on through here.
As you say that, there's a sound of another tear in the fabric of reality, and you see this whole maybe slip of nothingness come into existence that's about 16 feet tall and about 5 feet wide of just black and white space. It's eating the color all around it. And you can see what looks to be old patients coming through into this part of the Umbra.
What?
And they're just calling out for their loved ones.
Lydia, we got it. Let me get John. We gotta get the fuck out of here. I think we gotta shut this thing off. Or I don't know.
How the fuck are we gonna shut this off?
No. I mean, like, go back through and have them take his hand off the fucking gate. Is what I'm saying. So, people who know more than us should take a crack at this, because this is not my area of expertise by a long shot.
Yeah, fuck this shit. She walks out.
Thanks. Anita's trying to like pull John to his feet to get out the portal.
John kind of is completely dissociated. He just kind of goes with you like a robot.
Okay. So
he's still locked in his head.
She pulls John along to back through the gate then, so.
Yeah, the second all three of you are out, Bashir lets go of the trees, and the gate seals itself up. Ricardo just kind of comes over. What did you see? What was on the other side?
John stumbles over away from them and pukes.
A whole lot of bullshit that's out of all of our pay grades, it looks like. So there's a six-legged cat wandering around out there, and it somehow pulled some spirits and memories of somebody John knew, people John knew.
Traumatized the fuck out of John.
And then it disappeared like the Cheshire Cat in that movie. And a black pillar appeared. And then like old patients from here or something. They were individuals in like, gowns and stuff, started shambling out of it, calling for names and stuff. So I don't know what the hell is
souls
going
of the
on.
dead through and taking out color and probably other essences.
Like I said, beyond my pay grade. So
Bashir steps forward. It sounds like this thing cut into the deep Umbra from the shallow Umbra. That is very powerful.
She points at John. That's not okay. And she looks directly at Ricardo. That is not okay.
They both nod. We need the rest of
Fuck
the
this
cabal.
nonsense. If you don't have the experts to deal with this, you need to go send off for some. And you can tell that professor I said so.
yeah, whatever that thing is was adamant that we could not and would not be able to help. She points her thumb at the guy in the wheelchair. And I also didn't see any threads. So the whole thing of like, oh, they're attached, I'll just see the thing and just, reel it in. That didn't happen. So I tried to talk real nice to it. Tried to ask it to tell us how to help it so that, we could help it. And it just was just like, haha. And then the people thingies, spirits started coming out of the terror thing. So yeah.
And John was basically instantly incapacitated by the distraction of his dead military buddies.
Bashir grabs Ricardo. He told you we need to take him to the Biltmore. And Ricardo just shakes his head. That's impossible. We can't get into the Biltmore. It's a fortress. can get within 2 blocks of it. I'm sure nowadays, like, we can't. They can.
Oh boy. Oh. Why all the bad ideas involving us?
Gaines does not know you, so he will not expect you.
Sweet. And considering yo,
We need to take Byron with us.
You get him the fuck away from that cat.
They look around. What cat?
Are you fucking kidding me?
There is no cat in the courtyard.
The cat that's been here a long time, that glue like the fucking sun. Really, you don't remember it?
She kind of looks out. He's like, I don't know.
Oh, fucking hell. At that, Lydia starts walking out.
Yeah. Anita, you see Anita pull like a little cigarette out of her satchel, and she sticks it in her mouth and just starts walking too. She doesn't light it yet, but yeah.
Okay. They'll help John to his feet, kind of walk him and Daniel back towards the entrance hall. What does Lydia and Anita do once they get outside before everybody else does?
She used the front desk phone to call a cab.
Can I ride with you?
Absolutely.
Because I'm tired of Ricardo's whatever. I feel bad for John. We just left John back there, but
Oh, he's gonna need help. Help I can't provide.
Yeah.
That man's got a lot of trauma.
Yeah. There's some stuff I probably know that I could use for him from my other line of work stuff, but she actually reaches into her bag and pulls out a lighter and kind of shakes it, and then she lights up the little cigarette thing. But it's not a cigarette. It is definitely weed. when she exhales and she's like, "Fuck." Sorry, this is
fine.
purely ritualistic, but that was some bullshit. And yes, I need to cut back the edge a little bit. So I thought that they're like, well, you didn't know anything about, and I was thinking, yeah, I've done some spirit journey stuff out, west, but like shit, nothing like that. That was some bullshit. So fuck Miami. Why the hell did I come here? My bike's broken and this place fucking sucks. So yeah.
At this point, John and the other gentleman come up. Ricardo steps up to the two of you. Whatever is happening here is very meticulous. They are prepared for, and they have been prepared for every step that we have taken.
Yeah, they've laid traps. And we walked right into one. Nah. It's gonna need bigger guns than us.
Yeah. Anita takes a big long drag and she's like, she's like, wait, is that fucking thing tied to the dude at the Biltmore now? Is it Tack Hound? I don't, whatever.
If there is this cat that you saw,
There is. Gray, tabby. Large.
It is not Daniel's familiar.
No. I didn't say it was his. It's just attached to him.
We have
I
not
read
been
his
able
mind.
to find. What did you see?
The tiger we saw on the other side. And he's terrified.
If he knows what it is, then there's hope for him. That means that his familiar is still around and feeding him information.
Other than that, he was a blank slate.
What happened to him?
We have some theories here and there. I don't prescribe to any of them because nothing like this has ever happened. But
Something was cut out of him.
Elias, he thinks that his avatar was shunted. It basically ejected itself before it could be destroyed. But if that's true, that means that his avatar has been out there for almost 2 years without being able to find its way back to him. That avatar might not even be what he was anymore. But if it's true, then the best place that it would be is somewhere inside the Biltmore. Somewhere that only Daniel knew he could hide.
Last group that you guys all sent in didn't come out of it too well, did they?
Yeah. That was where Vasily lost his avatar.
Not just him. How many was it? 9? 10?
Two others.
Really? No one else in there lost their avatars?
Yeah. 6 total.
6. You know, that's funny. Numbers keep coming up. 6 people lost their avatar. 9 people were sacrificed in this ritual to turn a vampire back into probably a hermetic. It was likely one of those that switched over seeking immortality. And then, yeah, I've heard some stories. You've got, just yesterday, 10 people basically turned into chip beef. But 6 were only named. I saw somebody I knew. I look at Anita. How about you?
I saw somebody I knew, but they didn't turn into meat geyser. So
I look at John. You?
I did. Impossible, but I did.
See, something hadn't been sitting right with me. And it's these goddamn numbers that keep popping up. Feels off.
My sister knows a voodoo lady who is good with numbers. You could go talk to her.
I want to talk to her.
She's not like us. Just be aware of this.
I'll be aware.
Sounds like a plan to me. As far as I'm concerned, I got a score to sell, and that score, that thread, is leading straight to the Biltmore. But I ain't going in blind, like going through this gate.
I get you. I don't know her real name, but she calls herself Madame Gregoria Huskins. I know she has a shop somewhere on Coral Way. I'll find out and get you that information.
Great.
I think you've done enough for today. I'll tell Elias that we've made some leeway.
Sure, I'll be seeing you, Ricardo. She gets in the cab.
And Nita slides in the cab too.
I might as well slide in as well.
Okay. And as you three leave...
Oh, she does get her fucking guitar case out of Ricardo's trunk, though.
And the cocaine.
Oh, you don't want to leave that with him?
We don't want to forget the cocaine.
As the three of you take off from the facility with just the shitstorm that you saw in the Umbra, and what you can only imagine is a precursor to the shitstorm that's about to hit the city. I think this is a good spot to call it for tonight.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We did play this game for charity for National Breast Cancer Foundation. Please, we did not get any donations during the stream, but if you are able to, please, we are $35 away from providing one more person in need of a mammogram. You might want to consider a last-ditch donation if you are able to do so. And we will actually be back to continue this story next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you tune in for that, because holy crap. Yeah, Lydia is a little pissed off at Ricardo for sure. Do join us in Discord. This game was cast from Ravnos Archon, posting up a casting call in our Casting Couch channel on our Discord server. And if you want to play games with us, you can join us. There are currently 2 open casting calls in our Casting Couch room that you can sign up for. One is closing tomorrow. That is my game, The Way Home. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse game. That is going to be a ton of fun. And then there's also an open casting call for Windy City After Dark, our Vampire the Masquerade V5 game that we play on, that we have streaming on Sundays. We play those on Thursday nights. So if you have Thursdays available, you might want to consider trying out for a position in the cast. Also, just a great community in general, more than just casting calls. We have a fantastic community there. If you enjoy what we have done tonight, you can give us a follow here on Twitch. You can give us a subscription, or if you have Amazon Prime, you get a subscription for free every month. You might consider providing that to us. Oh, look at that. Punk's Not Dead. Just give the $35 to bump us up to give one more person. We have now provided enough money for mammograms for 6 people. Thank you, Punk's Not Dead. Mwah, love you. So, definitely give us a follow, subscribe, Prime, you get a free one. You might want to consider giving that to us. If you like what the players at this table, not me, what Will has done, what Ben here playing John's done, what Ivy Raven here playing Anita has done, give some bits, show your biddies for our players, because that goes directly to our players. Cult quotes are a thing. Show your biddies. And also, you can check out our fantastic friends in our Twitch chat right now, one of which is over here, our storyteller. This way. I'm always mirrored. Ravnos Archon. He streams multiple games a week on his own channel. You should check them out because Will is an amazing storyteller. You should check out his games. Jesus Christ. I'm like, why did I take so long to sit at his table? This is freaking awesome. And we do have some merch available. We do not have any Mage merch yet. I think this needs to happen, though, because I think Will has ideas for ongoing stories with this Miami situation. We may need some merch for that. And coming up over the next week, I hope I didn't forget anything. If I forgot something, Bill will tell me later and I'll be like, oh, well, I forgot. But coming up over the next week, we have Friday night, actually, we will be hosting over here on McStabber Studios. YouTube. That's right. YouTube. Back episodes. Check out our YouTube. Thank you, honey. Love you. He's posting all the links in chat. So Friday, we are actually hosting Ravenna with her werewolf stream that actually has Chewell Love It over here in it. They are doing a 2-shot. They started last Friday, and it's going to be finishing out this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern over on the Onyx Path. It is a werewolf 2-shot that is basically help promoting the apocalyptic record that has been on Kickstarter. And you want to check that out for sure, because Ravenna will actually be participating in our fundraiser campaign during that stream on Friday. Then Saturday, we have Call of Cthulhu. London Esoteric Society returns for their continuation of their story after a little bit of a season break. And that is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Then Sunday, at 5 p.m. Eastern, we have Windy City After Dark. After what happened on episode 5 of season 4, things will never be the same. So, we haven't even played it yet. We play it Thursday. We'll figure out what that has led our story to become. I have a feeling heads are going to start rolling because the coterie is about done with the bullshit going on in Chicago. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Monday, Haunted Chronicles, Chronicles of Darkness, 8 p.m. Eastern with Tam Shu and that crew. Amazing story. It is coming to a conclusion. They are actually going to be on session 50 of that story. All that back stuff is on their YouTube channel, the Haunted Chronicles YouTube, if you want to get caught up with that. But it's an amazing story, and it's coming to a conclusion by the end of this month. Episode 50. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. I know that group of, that cohort of characters are in deep shit right now. So tune in Monday, check that out. And then, like I said, Tuesday we'll be right back here to pick up this story where we left off. And holy hell, poor John. Anita's like, what the fuck, man? Lydia's like, yeah, I'm about done with some bullshit. And when Timber Brad joins us, he's gonna be like, dude.
What did you guys do?
All right, so that's our schedule for what's coming up, and all of these games are being played for charity. Thank you to everyone that has donated thus far, that has gotten us just over $900 raised for National Breast Cancer Foundation. Holy crap, y'all are like the best community ever, for real. We love you so much. And because we love you, we want you to take care of your mental health, for real. If you have mental health struggles, do not ignore them. Please reach out to folks you trust. Please, please. We all have traumas. We all have some baggage in our lives that cause us to ruminate, that cause us to have issues at times. And sometimes we just need a friendly person, a friendly shoulder just to listen. But if you are really struggling, there are numbers in chat right now, if you are in crisis, where you can get the help you need. You can either call or text them. There is even a link to a website where, if you are not in the U.S., you can find your local resources in any country in the world. So please, 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 if you are dealing with big struggles and are in crisis, please reach out for appropriate help. That is free of charge. Free of charge. And I'm Mama McStabber. I'm your resident, nicest mean nurse. Go get your COVID vaccine. Go get your flu shot. Take care of yourself. Don't get sick this winter. Survive it. Thrive in it. We love you, and we wish you a good night. Thank you, everyone.